skin. He never wore two similar socks, for he said nothing happens twice in nature. He was a little bit difficult, I dare say. Nevertheless, yeah, he was in fact a good designer, and in the beginning even a very good painter. He had lovely colors.
Good luck.
So, and we river 280 meters wide here at Vienna, and this year continuously brown. I do not understand why. I rather often, before they built the last two power stations above, I often swam across. You can't do it anymore, and it was never ever that muddy. To avoid further floods, and this artificial island that we just crossed has been built in this building, the new Danube, for avoiding the floods. So, and when we turn, going westwards, then you can see the end of the Vienna woods to our left. As well, because the stone here is granite, and to find the way through the granite was of course for the river rather difficult, and therefore this very narrow sides. Bad luck for them. It was found out, and some of the very powerful and having a lot of influence wine farmers went to the chancellor, it was Kreisky in those days, and could persuade him not to build this power station. The Baroque house there, Ritter von Köchel lived. So towards the river they did not need any fortifications, for the river really ran in front of it. Started more or less the regulation, and where we go through now, this is the natural flow of the river. Along Danube River in Wachau Valley are of course one of the 187 cruise ships on Danube River. 187 between Amsterdam and Budapest. Avalon is the company that runs it. So there are a lot of companies, approximately 15, 16 companies. So home on the landway, on the ship, not on the landway. He had the bad luck that the ship broke, and he had
think he I thought we'll be that lucky.
Yeah, he's kind of strong.
I don't think we're going to be that lucky. Sharks.
They might be a quarter-mile elbow room. Tschüss, Hank. Servus. Bye. Bye.
Wir befinden uns nicht der Weinbaugemeinde der Region. Durch die Melange aus guten Böden, einem besonders milden Klima sowie sorgsamer Kellerarbeit entstehen an den Hängen in Terrassenform ausgezeichnete Weinfangfenster. Trockensteinmauern schützen die Terrassen vor dem Abrutschen, hier sind äußerst gute Wärmeschalter. Das Außengeschick der Region ist der international berühmte Grünrichtlinie. Hier ist die bedeutendste Rebsorte und gleichzeitig eine Spezialität, die den typischen würzigen, frischen Geschmack zu überzeugen weiß. Gegenüber unmittelbar
The nose, the inhales and exhales to the power to sense. It looks like a severe child in the power to respond to the nostrils are large enough for penis to have and flight.
Ja, das erste war ja da, sagt der Interview. Weil sie fahren nur die Strecke, sie fahren dann nicht einmal in zweiten Dorf über den Hauptplatz, sondern fährt immer um einen Turm. Sondern sind los rundherum um die Siedlung. Das ist echt. Naja, dann bin ich
Na, bitte nicht, ob es schmeckt. Wenn es nicht schmeckt, bitte lasst es stehen.
Mit.
Fisch kalt. Tomorrow's going to be a lean day, they don't stores much better view. Better you on Looked like covers to my lost.
We're standing here at Milk little village, and there's a little house here where Anton Bruckner had piano lessons, and there's a plaque up here which indicates when he was here, and there it is right there. Anton Bruckner, 1875 to 1876. I hope you can hear me because there's a lot of talking going on around here, so I hope you can hear me what I'm saying. But that is Anton Bruckner. He was a guest here and received piano lessons.
Okay.
I'll just swim round to the other side of the street now. The other end of the street, that's the street there. And up here is where Anton Bruckner had his piano lessons.
Or we can make our own way. Way up.
Nobody really picks
And going right up to the top.
And in case anybody says something, I do a picture too, and I can contradict.
Then I know speak Deutsch.
But I unfortunately, and they know me. I'm known unfortunately meanwhile like a bad man.
Vypadá, že to je zrekonstruovaný, to je opravdu jednoduché.
legs and one is missing. But let's squat, please.
You know what?
Wrong bus. Look to the right. Here you see the abbey now from the show side. The symmetrical facade on the right side. This is for the school, this right end, and the left end with this balcony. There is the marble room and the library. Shocked. And he had the great luck to be married to one of the most pious noble emperor was born, Bersenbeug. And here it was the first power station that was built in Austria on Danube River. Ibs Bersenbeug was the first power station on Danube River in Austria in the 1950s. Oh, look! Now you can see it. Oh, is it working? So, and to the right, downstreams, and the river has still enough water downstreams too. No, it is not. This is one of the ships that are lying on the piers where you need ages to come there. Here to the right. It's coming upstreams. Here you have it. So, and we do not have far anymore to drive.
Well, we're going to need a hatchet to get there.
Right, we're in the town of Grein in Austria, and we're in a little theatre which goes back to the 15th century. This little theatre here is very worthwhile having a look at. We've just had a little guided tour around here, and I'm going to firstly bring you around here. But behind this wall here, apparently in 1568, there were prisoners held here behind this wall, and they would be fed bread and water during performances. Quite a bizarre account, isn't it? Apparently they were prisoners from the more elite people that had more money. They were held, I mean, at the time, this was apparently the town hall at that time, and the elite, prisoners from the elite were held here and given bread and water during performances. Now, we'll come around here further. I'm going to come around here and, whoops, round into the post, and this is the actual seating arrangement. These are the seats that go back to that time, and people would, these were the more expensive seats down here near the front, and people would have a key given to them, which is part of a yearly subscription, and they could unlock their seat behind here. Just down here, there's a little lock, and they can unlock the seat, and that was their seat for the season. So they had all sorts of plays here. Maybe there's some Shakespeare. I wouldn't be surprised. They would have had Shakespeare here. But anyway, so now there's something else I'm going to show you. Very interesting. I'll come over here. Let's come down here, and around here to the other end of this, other end of the cinema, and the end of the auditorium. It's the auditorium, yeah. And in this little door here, this little door just here, I'll just come round here, and you have a look at this door here, and would you believe it? It's a canoe. A toilet. And what they did during performances is they would come in here, they would open up the toilet lid, do their business, and while they were doing their business they would close this curtain so that they would not miss any of the show, and they would sit on the toilet, peek out through the curtain and continue watching the show while they were doing their business. I think this is quite amusing, actually. I really do. I think this is highly amusing. So that's the toilet. I think it was a long drop. No, she said it went down, and it went, oh God knows, it must have gone down in there, and they had some sort of flushing, work with a fountain from the square to flush away whatever went down there, you know. So this is the toilet, and so I'll close it up again, and you can see that come out of here, and I'll close the curtain. I'm not going to do anything down there, that's for sure. So there we are, that's the toilet. So so this is the crematorium again. I'll just come around here again and just show you around here a bit more. I've got heaps of time because the bus is not leaving till 4 o'clock, and it's now only 2:45, so I've got heaps of time to have a bit of fun here and show you these things. But it is very amusing to discover these things. So there we are, that's the theatre. Now I think we should go upstairs. I'll come around the other side here. I'll show you the outside of this building fairly soon, but I'll come around here and I'll just go back towards where the toilet is. I was honing on it for a minute, and there it is there with the curtain shut. I've closed the curtain and come out of it. So there we are. So there we are. Now I shall stop at this point. I'll just come around here first. These are the keys for the chairs here. Yes, they'll be the subscription keys, won't they? Okay, so I can just go up, come out here, and just come up here a little bit. There's a plug up here. I don't know what it is, but there's a plug here. Grein, that's the name of this town. It's Grein, Grein, and there it is right there. I'll just come up so you can actually see that. Okay, I'll just come back, and this was the town hall. It is now a theatre. Okay, we are in Linz. This is the 15th of August 2018, and we are inside what is called the Immaculate Conception Church here in Linz. And we're going to bring you around here because I'm near the foundation stone here, and over here you will see a plague. And I'll just come up to here. A plague which tells us that Anton Bruckner wrote his second Mass. No, he didn't write it. It was performed here, sorry. He performed his second Mass here on the 29th of September 1869. I'll just zoom it in so we can read it. There we go. So it's Mass number 2 in E minor. Now, bring around here and we'll show you a little bit of the church itself, this part of it. Now, this is actually where that Bruckner plaque is actually the foundation stone of the church. The church was built in 1862. So, well, the foundation stone was laid in 1862. So this is what the church is like. It's another one of these spectacular constructions we find anywhere in Austria, and clearly Linz offers the same style of building. So I'll just take you around and you can just have a quick look around this church. I'll just pan around here. This is our group here. I'm getting the sun glare off the windows, unfortunately. But I'll come round here. And I'll come round this way, actually.
And he wrote a so-called pastoral letter.
So I want to show you the actual interior of the church complet. It's up here. It's a massive church actually. It's really large. It's an amazing place. It's a Catholic church, I think. It's called the Immaculate Conception Church or something like that, here in Linz. So you can see how much space there is in this building. And the architecture is actually quite mind-boggling. So I'll just bring it around here. Come over here. There's such a big area here to try and take it all in, really. But I'll come around here and we'll do a little look around here. There we are. So that's down towards the entrance of the church. So you can see right up here. I come round and we can see up above us, right up above. As you can see, and we come down, look towards the altar, which is there. And there's even a orchestra podium there. So they must play symphonies in that here, I guess. Perhaps some Bruckner, hopefully. Who knows? They'll also probably play Mozart, because there's a lot of reference to Mozart in Linz as well. But it is a beautiful place. Okay, I think, oh, there's the organ too. I didn't actually think of that. I don't know what the history of this is, but that's the organ right there. I'm glad I spotted that before I turned the video off, actually. So there we are. Beautiful church. I'll take a video of the outside of it as well. Okay, there we go. See you soon. Okay, this is just a brief run here of the video here, because what we've got up here is a window showing Bruckner and Beethoven together, right there. So that's a reference. Beethoven, apparently his brother had a chemist shop in Linz. That's what I think is the connection there. So that's Beethoven and Bruckner. Now, let's take a quick look around the church before I go, because it's almost time for me to leave here. And I'll just quickly walk down to the entrance of the church. Try and take in as much as I can while I'm here. So this is coming through. We look back, if you like, we can have a look back where we came from, and there was the window where I took the, so it's the glare of the sun now, but you probably see a bit of it. That's the window where I got the Bruckner and Beethoven, and then down here it's down towards the altar of the church, and then we come back round to the entrance, which is down here. So we'll just come back and we'll leave the church now. So I'll just walk down here quickly. I won't be too, as long as we get an idea. Just walk down through to the entrance of the church, which is through here. And we come out through here. And this is where we are. So we'll come out, and at this point I'll stop the video. I'll just turn around and just point it back through the door, and there we are. So we'll stop it at this point. Okay, this is the outside of that church, the Immaculate Conception Church here in Linz, where you saw the Bruckner plaque and the Great Foundation Stone in the other video I took. And this is the outside of it. It's so big, it's impossible to do a still with it, so it's easy just to do a video like this. And you see right up to the steeple, right up to the tower at the top. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Right up to the top. So that's the bell tower, I guess. So we'll just come round and I'll just take a quick look around here. I'd like to take some more. I'll be coming back, I think, to take some more of this. But that's the front of it anyway. So we'll leave it at that for now, and I'll see if I can get some more of it a bit later on. Okay, see you.
Everybody loves new ideas. The Marx probably said, well, the Marx said it's a different ideas and very often. What do you do with an empty monastery? You turn it into a palace. What do you need for a palace? You need marble. Did you notice on the first floor the columns are made out of red marble? Where did the marble come from? Oh, Rike, of course, knows. She's your daughter here, yeah? That's right, so 400 years ago. Wow, that was a different country. was a different sort of empire. And it was outside. He was able to afford an article in the they were the ones who put those beautiful Renaissance artworks and they turned it into a palace. So that building, those 2 wings, was originally built in this way, and no damage during the war. This wing, that looks very plain, unfortunately, that was very fine.
Cemetery. The main cemetery. Further out.
Used to be around this church. Then they put it aside and moved it further down the next street, further to the south. Another one was out here, outside the city walls. This little church is a Catholic old church. Yeah. And then St. Martin's Church. Yeah. And it was first etched.
We have 2 city halls in Linz. This was built in the 80s, that's for administration. And the politicians are on Main Square, I will show you later. And then very, very important for Linz, for modern Linz, is this green glass building on the right. That's the Ars Electronica Center. And Ars Electronica is a festival starting on September 4th. For 5 days, Linz is a cosmopolitan city. Many times of the year. And then international artists are coming to this to show their, I always call it computer animated art instruments. The building is a museum. I don't like the word museum, I rather call it the laboratory of the future. In this museum you can find out about robotic, bionic, artificial intelligence. They have a deep space, they give you 3D glasses and shoot you out into the Milky Way virtually, or you can walk through ancient towns that don't even exist any longer, or you can walk into a human body and find out how your liver is doing, etc. Yeah, and you can even, and that's a nice performance in the deep space for this special year, 200th birthday of Anton Bruckner. You can conduct the Bruckner Symphonic Orchestra.
It's more comfortable than standing. You spent already the morning in Linz, the whole morning? Yes. Thank you.
The young man.
So that was that piece of game was Prelude.
Actually, he calls it Nachspiel und Fuge,
Yeah.
a postlude, but the postlude are this chords.
Okay.
Actually, by 8 chords, I think, or 9, by Simon Sechter.
Right.
So,
This is the village of Enns.
Here he could use as well the instrument of Ritter von Zenetti. So wherever he got in grip of an organ, of a harmonium, and even of a piano or spinet, he was happy and was more or less in heaven.
This is the town square of Enns.
Come with me, please, to the house where Zenetti lived. There is the memorial plaque for him. Not here. I know that most of you want to
That's like the desk. Take a couple of that.
Anywhere anymore. A quick look into the church. I have a very personal story about this. Yeah. After World War I, my grandparents moved to Enns. My grandfather was a veterinary, a high staff officer in the staff of Emperor Franz Joseph. He was gone. Nothing to earn, so he came to the country. And my grandmother was a wonderful, I did not live to see her. Loved to play piano. I still have piles of notes at home from her. And she was walking, and they had a little dog, that's big, overfed. And she walked with a girlfriend here through town. Here the organ was playing. So into the church. What shall we do with the dogs? Put it into the handbag. It was small enough to put it into the handbag. And she went to the seats that were her seats just in front of the church and sat there.
This is Bruckner's teacher's Zanetti's house in Enns.
These two aisles became too small. They built more or less a second church a little bit later. And that it is later you can see best when you look at the wall. It is much steeper and much more difficult than this one here. The virgins had come dating from the late 1300s.
This church was built in the during the 14th century, around the 14th century. This is Zanetti's house where Bruckner had his music lessons, and the church here was built in around the 14th century, and this is in Enns, the village of Enns. This is the market square of Enns with the clock tower here, and there's our bus waiting for us to be getting on it to go to the next destination. This is Konstorf, and this is one of Bruckner's residences, which is now a museum.
That's the best plaque yet.
Yeah.
Sorry?
100%?
What's that?
100% better?
No, about 80%.
Only 80?
Yeah, I stopped sneezing. But,
Oh, that's
but
good.
I'm keeping away from people in case.
You always take
suddenly starts
picture.
up.
Have you ever been in the picture yourself?
40% virus.
Yeah, I'm just taking a video.
You still have germs.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, well, I don't think giving other people my cold is going to be a very good souvenir.
No, we don't want your thing.
No, I don't want it either.
That's good.
This is Constroff, next to Bruckner's museum.
Exhibition given here where all these works of this style they could get in grip were exhibited. It was a great exhibition, I can remember. I was still in school and
Look at him in the tower there, the tiger.
in sculpturing and finishing the work Calone had planned. And when you find the silvery thing just in front of us that we will have in a few moments to your left, interesting, strange. This is more or less an advertisement for a firm with something very special, and this very special thing is, we are in Austria, of course, something to eat, and this is the so-called Cornspitz. This is a little bread made.
Robin, the chairs over there.
Treu ich zum Anschauen selber.
Vorstelle jetzt in der Stiftskirche. Unsere Vorwelt ist auch gleichzeitig Parkmiete, das heißt für den ganzen Ort zugänglich ist und das Raum für alle Besucher.
And here in the first room of the tomb, you can see a number of gravestones. Here is the entrance to the tomb itself. We are walking now along the nave of the church, and there are 4 niches on the right and on the left, corresponding to the side chapels in the collegiate church. And these niches are burial places for the provosts or prelates. They are the head. That's the head of the monastery, and also members of the nobility, benefactors are buried here in the niches. Let's have a glance at that. To the left, again, Saint Florian with the water bucket, his typical attribute, and to the right, Saint Sebastian. He was also a very important man, an early Christian martyr, similar to Saint Florian, a saint. Look at them, they are really huge, but typical of the Baroque period. Well, and there are also various places in the walls to your left. There are plaques, and every plaque indicates the tomb of a priest. In former times, till 1782, the priests were buried here, the coffins were moved into the niches, then it was walled up, and the dead was dedicated. But nowadays, the priests are buried in the cemetery. We saw this cemetery opposite to the entrance of the church. In 1977, the last provost was buried here.
Oh, how's it going?
Century, and there was a secret cemetery in this area. It was a hidden place with trees, a little bit, hidden. And the early Christians, they buried their family members here. They wanted to be laid to rest near Saint Florian, who had been buried here as well. So if we look at these bones and skulls, well, they give evidence of early Christianity. Everything started about 1,700 years ago. Well, and Anton Bruckner, it was his wish to be laid to rest exactly beneath the organ. According to his testament, his wish was fulfilled, and he is even involved. Was also his wish. Yeah. You just want to look a little bit, I guess, take pictures. I don't have to explain so much. It's just,
What is the coffin made of?
That's Zinn in German. Zinn, wissen Sie das? Was Zinn auf Englisch ist? Zinn. It's also Zinn.
He's been taken out and freshened up.
In 1996. He was his second term in Switzerland. Well, and if you take a look here at the name, it's written without C. There's a typo. It is.
Does that mean there's two plaques, and they both have typos. One has
Are there some of Bruckner's works state that
from his young days till then? And so there are many, yes,
original?
originals. Yeah.
I see that there are doors.
Yes, secret doors, I would say.
Well, not so secrets.
Yes, you can, if you close them, you won't see there's an entrance. But behind the Children's Bible of St. Florence, Children's Bible, it's impressive because of its dimensions. The pages measure 66 by 48 centimeters, so if you open it about 1 meter, more than 3 feet, and it weighs more than 30 kilos. It's incredible. But it's a wonderful manuscript with initial paintings, with miniatures, very powerful. I can't show it to you. It has to be protected. But if you are interested in, there's a book of the book in the shop. And there's also one piece, one copy. One copy, thank you, sometimes. One copy, and you can take a look at glance at it. You don't have to buy it, but take a look at it.
There was a BBC series on sacred music, and we came here, and the organist was kind enough to showing the Bruckner's copy of Missa Solemnis, and it was in his hand.
It was in his hand, but with gloves.
But with gloves.
Yeah.
And I don't know, see, gloves can also tear
paper.
Maybe watching him a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's very nice. I'd love to see that. I know we can't see it. I love it.
Okay.
Maybe you don't know the answer to this one, but Bruckner wouldn't have had access to this library back in his time, would they? Would this have been more of a cloister?
Well, I guess he would have had access to the library. Well, because you have to know he spent all his vacations always here in St. Florian. There are more than 50 times he spent his summer vacations here, and he composed here, he worked here, he finished 4 symphonies in St. Florian, and I guess he might have had access to the library.
I would guess you could see.
No organ here, no big organ here at the tribune. Sometimes I think maybe there was no money left because of the huge monastery that just was built, and it was the beginning of the construction of this organ was then in 1770, and it lasted 4 years. So the organ was finished in 1774, and the name of the organ builder who built the instrument is Franz Xaver Griezmann, who came from Slovenia, from Laibach, Ljubljana, as it's called today, and I think it's rather interesting to know that he wasn't only an organ builder but also a priest, a Catholic priest, and I don't know such a professional combination in our days. Maybe you. I don't know any other organ builder who is a priest today. Franz Xaver Griezmann learned his profession, probably in Italy and probably in Venice. Venice, we have some Italian-sounding stop names, which indicates very clearly that should be true. That he learned organ building in Venice or somewhere in Italy. The organ, when it was finished, didn't work properly, didn't work as it should. There were problems with the air. It didn't have enough air. So imagine no organ builder, or most of the organ builders, even today, build organs with dimensions like these, and Franz Xaver Griezmann, it was certainly the only organ with 32 pipes he built in his life, and maybe he made mistakes when calculating how much air the organ will consume for playing and so on, and it lasted several decades till these problems were solved by an organ builder who learned his profession himself without the teacher and so on.
This is Steer, and this is the Steer River. That's the River Ems, and that's the River Styre coming into it.
That's what it is. This one on
Oh, yeah.
Lại ổn, uống đi, xây buổi.